Big day in the calendar, isn't it, Jenny? Especially
is,
if you're all tartan and shortbread and that kind of Scots. I don't want to say it's not a true Scotsman, but you know the sort of thing I'm on about. The very twee, touristy type stuff.
Yeah.
It's, if I remember correctly, Birds Night is when you catch a live haggis.
They're really hard to catch, you know.
They are. They're little fast-moving creatures. They're a bit like hedgehogs. They move a lot faster than you expect.
Yes.
But the trick with haggis is because they live in the mountains, they're a bit lopsided. So they've got two legs that are shorter than the others.
Yes.
So they run around the mountain in one direction. All you got to do is you've got to stand where they go around the mountain and you'll catch them when they come round. You can be waiting a wee while if it's a big mountain, but, you know, you can catch them. And I also hear that when you have caught them, you're supposed to pipe them in.
Yes.
But I don't recommend you smoke them. That's what you do with kippers. They fit better in the pipe. I think that's how it works. It's been a while since I've known about these things. Because admittedly, I've been south of the border for 15, 16 years now. It's been a wee while. I might have forgotten what some of the traditions are, but I do remember what some of the great Scottish artists are, including this one. It's the Proclaimers. And I'm going to be, well, about 500 miles or so on a wee natter.
When I wake up,
I'll be honest with you, I would struggle to walk 1,000 miles. So they're doing quite well there. Proclaimers, I'm going to be on a wee natter where we're going painfully cheesy, twee Scottish, to the point that a few people have pointed out about my headdress, about the hat I'm wearing. It's the sort of thing you wear to a true traditional Burns night, where you turn up. Admittedly, I've not gone the whole hog, you know, wearing the shell suit or anything like that, like the Neds do. But I've gone for the CU Jimmy hat, complete with the hairstyle as well.
Yep.
So I'm looking like a bit of a mismatched ginger at the moment. I don't know if it's a look I'll carry on with, but it's certainly one that I do every Burns night when I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
Oh, joyful. And hopefully you're celebrating as well. Though, talking about food, if you remember last week, we were chatting about weird and wonderful food stories because I ended up, well, it wasn't last week, it was the week before, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a little while ago, we were chatting about weird food stories because I acquired a breakfast roll that was so big, I was looking up how to dislocate my jaw to eat it. A few of you have been in touch with your stories, haven't they?
Yes, well, I've got Anne Little Hayes, who's basically said what her favourite food is, which is sausage, mash, gravy and mushy peas.
Oh.
Sausage, mash, gravy and... Man, I do like chips, mushy peas and gravy.
Chips, mushy peas and gravy. That's your standard order from the chippy. It's a weird one, but that's something we put Jenny up to. Stephanie Hepburn's saying, never liked roast parsnips when you were younger. Simply love them now. It's kind of funny how your food tastes change and you get into stuff that's more bitter, don't you?
Yes, you do.
It's a bit, well, hopefully you don't go the other direction and like you're eating like raw coffee when you're a child and then by the time you're 80
you're having a latte.
You're only eating boiled sweets.
Oh.
You know, hopefully that's not the journey you go on.
Daniela, I once attended a Chinese New Year party where edible jellyfish were offered on a platter. Not sure about that. Initially, I was hesitant to even place it on a plate. Fortunately, a friend of mine who is of Chinese heritage explained that it's considered a delicacy in many parts of Asia, prized for its crunchy texture and often served in salads or stir-frieds. Well, I did try it and the flavour was not unpleasant. Its crunchiness reminded me of eating a crisp.
So you ended up eating jellyfish crisps. That's what I take away from there. And that's one of those weird flavours I could see them bringing out. Is like, we're doing things that are a bit quirky. Paul Storer saying, I never liked crab sticks anyway, and certainly not now. Based on Jenny's description of what a crab stick looked like. Did you want to regale us with what you think a crab stick looks like, Jenny?
Well, I thought it looked like a used tampon.
Yes. And joy of joys there. Chris Curley also saying, so happy you're on YouTube again. Yes, we're trying to put the clips in many places we can. For instance, today, family having lunch out. My youngest sister got a quiche with snails. I'm guessing you were in France if you're going for snails, because that's supposed to be a delicacy out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've never actually.
Or is it not? I don't know. Sometimes
I've been past a number of French restaurants. Never seen snails on the menu.
Or frog's legs. Is that a myth as well, or is that really a delicacy?
I assume it's a bit like with the whole Burns night thing we're doing. It's not something to do every day of the week.
Yeah.
Maybe or not. Maybe. After he's mentioning as much of these quiche with snails as she liked. She was pulling it out, opened it. The snail nestled in tomato and egg, and she said, "Ha, it looks like an operation." After a while, she noticed that everyone had quietly stopped eating. Funny that.
I got Claire saying that her weirdest food story was when she went to Rome for her 30th birthday. They were having a mushroom festival at the hotel. There were tons of them all over the place, and folk were eating them out of bowls, raw by the looks of it, but she didn't fancy them. They were on the menu, and I remember the waitress looked at us like we were bonkers when we didn't order anything with mushrooms in. I quite like a mushroom, but not raw mushroom.
Yeah. And also on the phones, we've had Louise.
Hello, beautiful Sooty, and happy Wednesday. I hope you're keeping lovely and warm and snug this nasty, frosty, cold weather. I'm just ringing up to let you know about my weird food story. I love vegetable lasagna with mushy peas on top.
That's weird.
Before I put the lasagna in the oven, I spread a small tin of mushy peas on top of it and cook it. And it's beautiful. A bit weird, but never mind. We can't all be perfect. You take care. Love, Louise.
I'm not sure perfect was the bar we're going for there. I mean, mushy peas is a thing that most of the East Midlands are into for some reason. It's a strangely Midlandsy type
Got
food.
the proper mushy peas, though, not processed peas. You know,
I'm not
proper.
saying nobody eats them outside the East Midlands, but this seems to be the home of the mushy pea. Even then, I haven't ever seen Jenny put it on a lasagna. Based on what you've heard from Louise,
It gives me an idea now. I like a bit of mint sauce as well.
Oh no,
Right.
I'm not sure I could cope with that. Let's check in with Sam.
It's Sam here. So my weird food story, I would say, is as a child, when I was a baby, I was very much I liked cheese, or I ate a substantial amount of cheese or cheese-related products. And as an adult, I don't eat cheese at all. I have, on the very rare occasion, I will have macaroni cheese, which I seemed to very much enjoy when I was a child. But as an adult, I very rarely have macaroni cheese. And I think I can put that down to the fact I went dairy-free for a while. Okay. I am back. I have dairy products again nowadays. But the other one is that eggs. So eggs are something that, a lot of people like. But I put eggs in Yorkshire puddings and cakes, and I love Spanish-style tortilla, which I have in my sandwiches sometimes and make a lovely lunch with that. But I don't have poached eggs or fried eggs or boiled eggs or anything like that in a sandwich. I'll have scrambled eggs. I quite like scrambled eggs, but I don't like the other style of eggs. It's just something that I'm not really into, and I guess some people might find quite strange.
Right. So I think there was something about cheese. So he can't do cheese now, but he used to do cheese, and very particular about eggs. He would get on well in America, wouldn't he? Yeah. Because I don't know if you've never done this before. And admittedly, it's quite an expensive thing to do. Go out to the United States, go visit them, and ask for eggs for your breakfast. And you will get questioned in 15 different ways about how do you want them? I just want fried eggs with my breakfast, please. Do you want them side up? Do you want,
over easy, under easy?
And you said, what do any of these things mean? Just give me a fried egg. And we've also had Vicky in touch, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had Vicky. Vicky says, I think my weirdest food story is when I brought a bar of chocolate from a supermarket in Holland, and the cashier gave me a packet of toilet cleaner and said it was a free offer with the chocolate.
Even if it's free, it's not a sign that it's good chocolate you're buying, is it? Noisettes, don't upset the rhythm. Go, baby, go on A Wee Natter, where we're doing a couple of things. One, we are talking about weird and wonderful food stories. I've just seen a question coming in asking, do you know what a man chip is?
No, is it by McCain's or something?
Well,
a man chip, is that mean it's one of the big fat doorstep chips?
Are you thinking along the lines of how Yorkie used to be sold?
Yeah.
Not for ladies, it's like man chips and lady chips.
Yeah.
And you pick which one you like. And you can't be in between. You've got to be one or t'other. It's Rachel all saying Waitrose has sold out vegetarian haggis today, so we're having vegetarian stovies instead tonight, washed down with iron brew. That is properly Scottish. And PG Fair One Cat saying, my weird food story, a lollipop with a scorpion in it. I assume you're talking about the animal and not the band. You don't have a member of scorpions just encased in lollipop like they've been trapped in, what's the name of them all? Star Wars, where they have them encased in the metal or whatever it is. Sweet and crunchy. I love Marmite. Tried frog's legs. Not impressed. No. Baked oysters are lush, apparently. I don't know about that. You still struggle to get me. Grilled fresh mackerel with horseradish. Spider crab is lush. I'm going to try M&S peanut butter and jelly spread. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. And we've had an update on what a man chip is from Sandra, who asked the question. Yeah. It's sold in bakeries. It's a bun, bit like a Chelsea bun, but different. So it's not a packet of chips. It's just for men.
Man chip. So it's like a bun.
It's like a bun, apparently. If you want weird, wonderful buns, check out a buttery and don't blame me for the heart attack you get afterwards. It is A Wee Natter. We are here on Burns Night, where we are celebrating all things Scottish by commiserating the fact that we didn't get one of the free haggis that they stock in the local supermarket here. We were outdone. Somebody got there first.
And they don't do the whiskey sauce down here, do they, that they sell in the supermarkets in Scotland?
They don't. No. It's a very limited thing, and you have to mash the neeps yourself. It's a lot of effort, but you can do the proper traditional Burns supper if you're prepared enough and you remember it's happening. Although if we're talking about Scotland, I can't get away from the fact I'm wearing a See You Jimmy hat. It's the traditional garb you wear on Burns nights. Like I said, along with a tracky top and tracky bottoms, because you got to look like the Ned. You got to look like the true Scottish inhabitant nowadays. And I've also just seen a question come up from PG31 Cat asking, is there a steel tartan? And as far as I know, no. And any time anyone in the family's got married, it's generally been something like a Duncan tartan, because you step back a few generations and there's connections there and things like that. I'm sure somebody's made one. I'm sure if you look online, they'll go, here's a steel tartan that somebody's come up with. It's not a traditional one.
Could you make one, Mark?
You want me to make my own tartan? Well, what do you think that tartan would look like?
We have a picture of you in a kilt, if you want to show.
You have a picture of me in a kilt?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's going back a wee bit. I'm going to share. I'm going to share the picture with you. I can't believe it. Here we go. That's me in a kilt. I can't even remember what tartan that is, but it was for a family wedding. I was just doing what I was told.
Yeah.
I don't normally do kilts. Not even for a wedding. It's not my thing. But we're wearing this hat, celebrating Burns Night. It's probably the most Scottish thing I've done in a while. Admittedly, very much at the cliched end of the spectrum. So I'm going to ask you, what is the most Scottish thing that you've done? There's an interesting question. You got any ideas you can answer that one with, Jim?
Thing that I've done, I just want to say eat Scottish shortbread.
Eat shortbread? You think the Scots just sit there all day, at work, munching away on shortbread, get home, stick the telly on, keep munching away on shortbread, get tired, brush your teeth, all that, get ready for bed, munching a bit more shortbread, and then conk out on the bed pillow. Is that how you imagine Scottish days go down?
We did get married at St Andrews. That's Scottish, no?
That might pass. But what about you, dear listener? We'd love to hear about it. I'm not sure I agree with Tears for Fears when they say everybody wants to rule the world. It feels like too much effort. It feels too involved. And it's A Wee Natter, where it's Jenny and Marc who after things. And we're talking about the most Scottish thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
And a few of you in touch, including PG Fair One Cat saying, whiskey on my porridge. That's the first time I've ever heard of a flammable porridge. I'll be honest with you. But it's a choice if that's what you want to do. It would be an interesting twist. I'm almost tempted to try it, and then I realise it's probably going to backfire on me. We'll see what happens. Anl76 trying haggis for the first time this evening. Hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
Haggis is one of those things. It's like most delicacies where when you're told what it is, you go, I'm not going to eat that. No.
Yeah.
But if you were just given it and told, that's spicy meat or whatever, you'd eat it and you go, that's not that bad actually, is it?
We chose it as one of the starters for our wedding, didn't we? Thinking, let's have a go. We did the taster session and everything. And we did an alternative as well for people that didn't want to try it. But
pretty much everybody
had it. It was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't complain about it. Argonaut 22 saying the most Scottish thing I've ever done is eating Scottish porridge oats.
Yeah.
And you're going to talk about the one with the man in the kilt on the front of the packet and things like that, aren't you? I'll be honest with you, most Scots do not look like the man on the front of the packet. There are very few people that can match that standard. Sandra is saying, I went to a Scottish folk music festival in St Andrews some years ago. It was lovely. St Andrews itself, it's all right. It's a bit isolated, but it's all right. And it's quite lovely. It's quite small and all that kind of stuff. I can speak from experience, having gone there to study for 4 years. I made the mistake of doing computer science at St Andrews, so utterly useless, wrong institution, all that kind of stuff. But it was the local university, so who's to complain? But one of the little tricks I did learn is, and this won't apply to most people that go to St Andrews, but if you go there and you're a student, a lot of the cafes and things went, we're not going to give you breakable stuff. We'll give you, single-use cups and things like that. Unless you had a local accent, and then he'd give you a proper coffee mug. There's your trick. Get a proper local Fife accent. Alfie Cat 555 saying, for an Englishman in Scotland for only 6 months, I've worn a kilt, had a steak pie on New Year's Day, had my first haggis tonight, and fish supper from the chippy with 2 fish, and asked if I wanted vinegar in my mushy peas. Right. Mushy peas is already a bit weird. Vinegar on it as well is a choice. That's what I'm going to say to that. It's a choice.
The thing is, when sometimes we go up and stay with your mum and dad and we have like a chippy tea, I like a bit of a pickled onion alongside, and I've never had so much fun in a conversation where your dad's talking to the guy at the chip shop to do the order, and I'm like, can you pop a pickled onion on there? And they're like, a pickled what? A pickled onion on there. Could you put a pickled onion on the order? Everybody was just laughing. I'm like, it's a pickled onion.
Why would you want a pickled onion?
I like a pickled onion.
You're a weirdo, that's what it is.
And then he goes, they've actually got one. Well.
It is what it is. W-App saying, I had a Scotch pie. Yeah, they're
nice.
all right. I like faggots in the West Midlands dish.
I've never had a faggot.
You've got to be a little bit careful, because what the Americans mean by a faggot and what we mean by faggots, very different things. I'm guessing you haven't had either of them.
No.
I thought we'd just clear that one up. But we're talking about the little sausage ball things, aren't we? Yes.
What's the other thing I like?
Because I've seen packs of faggots and I've considered the idea. It's a bit like spam. I've considered the idea.
Yeah, I don't know what's in them. They just don't sound good, do they?
And I'm told they do taste all right. But I've never convinced myself to step over the threshold and try it. Maybe I'm going to do it. Next time we go in the weekly shop, you might see a tin of spam or some faggots appear.
Don't brains make the faggots? Like brains faggots?
Something like that.
And what's that other nice thing? the bit of potato pie, bean and... It's got potato on top, beans and a bit of meat, isn't it?
It's a Scotch pie with beans and potato
that's the
on
one
it, basically.
there,
You're weird, lady. You love those things. PG Vera One Cat saying, years ago, friends of my parents, Scottish, he used to grow his own veg. He put whiskey in the compost and the onions were insane. Dad still remembers them. Very strong, but great for cooking. Alfie Cat saying, pickled onion vinegar on your chips. Fish had it for years. And Daniela mentioning Tipsy Laird.
Tipsy Laird? I don't know what that is.
I would. It's vaguely ringing a bell, and I feel like I should know. It's one of these things where I'm going, I should know what you're on about here. But I'm just seeing those two words and I'm trying to piece it together.
Posh dessert or something.
Sixpence none the richer and Kiss Me. On A Wee Natter, we're talking about the most Scottish thing you've ever done. Just had a message in from Vicky saying, I think the most Scottish thing I do is knit while doing other things. The traditional Shetland women used to knit all the time, even when they were walking. I knit while cooking, reading and travelling. I've yet to master knitting while walking thing. I'd either fall over or drop half my stitches.
How can you knit and cook at the same time? Are you just like mixing with one hand and like knitting with the other?
Skillfully. I think that's how you do it. Knitting's one of these things. I really want to get the skill to do it, but I don't have the patience to sit there and learn properly.
We did try you out, didn't we?
I did try, because I'm the sort of person always has to have some sort of creative or hands-on or, some project where I'm doing something, building something,
Yes.
creating something. And I thought, that might be one to try, might be a useful skill to have.
Yeah,
And
you cast it on and then that was it. It died a death, didn't it? I don't think we ever got to cast off.
I got a scarf we could have used on a gnat.
Oh, a tea cozy. It had that many holes in, didn't it?
Oh, Rachel Sambuca's been in touch saying, I had smokies in a pub in Arbroath. Of course it's going to be Arbroath smokies.
Yeah.
And a coffee tower
Coffee Tower.
in Fisher and Donaldson.
Oh my God, that is my favourite place.
And if you've never heard of it before, it's just a bakery in the east of Fife. It's a chain, it's got a few shops.
Our wedding cake was made by them, wasn't it?
And it was the
Had
very...
to be.
I'll be honest with you, it was... After we booked the venue, that was the next
was the
thing
next
we
thing.
organised. And
Yeah.
Jenny was very particular. We were getting that cake from Fisher and Donaldson. I did not have a choice.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
And PG Fairborn Cat mentioning Cranachan, which is great as well.
Well, I've tried that.
That's the little raspberry dessert thing, isn't it?
I don't know, I've never tried it, I don't
Have
think.
you not?
No, what's going on?
It's one of those things Scottish grannies almost always made at some point.
Oh.
Everyone and their dogs had it at some point. It's just the way it works. Usually when you send us messages, dear listener, I can make out what they mean. I can, apply a bit of context, figure things out. I've just seen one from WAP. Because it's just one word, trousers.
Yes, I'm just wondering what that's all about.
Unless it's to do with Donald, where's your trousers?
Oh, yeah.
A bit of the old Andy Stewart.
It could be, yeah.
I don't want to say I've got a copy of Andy Stewart because then you'll insist we start playing it. So I'm going to say we don't have a copy of Andy Stewart. How true that is, well you're never going to find out. As chosen by you, our covers versus original song, Mark Cohen's version, Walking in Memphis. And Jenny's got a wee story, but before she tells it, I do need to bring in this music. It is the spooky Halloween music. And why are we doing spooky music, Jenny?
Oh, because something happened to me at work the other day, and then I thought to myself, I'll have a little bit of chat about this on A Wee Natter and see if anybody else has got any stories to tell.
Oh, that could be interesting. Yeah, tell us your story.
So, I went to the loo.
Right, that doesn't sound particularly scary, but I guess you got to start somewhere. So you went to the loo, right? Okay.
Yeah, I went to the loo.
Don't go into graphic detail.
No, I won't go into graphic details, but just say I went to the loo. Now you go in your little cubicle, don't you? And you lock your door.
Right, I'm following.
And
Yeah.
in these toilets, there's those Dyson hand dryers. You know the pot where you put your hands in and it like that.
Oh, where it's supposed to scrape the water off your hands. Yeah,
Yes,
and I know that's
yeah.
what you're on about.
Yeah.
Yes.
And these ones start off low and it builds up high, then it goes back to low again, then it finishes.
Okay.
So I was in the toilet and all of a sudden the dryer starts off and I'm like, hang on, there's nobody in here, there's just me. So I thought maybe somebody was in here before I came in. So I thought nothing of it, and then it happened again, and it happened about 3 times where the hand dryers, it went off like somebody was, but there was nobody in apart from me.
That's proper spooky.
Spooky. Now I do work in a hospital, so I did wonder if anybody was, doing the rounds, having a bit of a visit.
So just to check, you think some ghost that's haunting this 150-year-old hospital is setting off the hand dryers?
Yeah, I don't know that it happened 3 times.
On at least on the plus side, the ghost is being hygienic. We'll give them the points for that.
Yeah.
At least the ghost's doing the right thing. But it's got me wondering, of all the things that all the things you could do as a ghost, all the things you could take over the power of, all the things you could haunt. A, you're going to go for a bathroom, and B, you're going to make it the hand dryers. I guess at least you can't ignore the hand dryers. They are quite noisy, aren't they? Hailing from the same town I grew up in, it's big country, Wonderland. That's not how I describe Dunfermline in any way, shape or form. Although it feels kind of weird to even call it a city. It's supposed to be a city nowadays. I can't convince myself to say it. It's not that big. You can walk across it in under an hour. You can't call that a city. I think Mansfield's bigger.
Is it?
If I remember correctly. Yeah, Mansfield is bigger than most of the Scottish cities.
Wow.
When it comes down to it. And Mansfield's just a wee town in the middle of nowhere in England. It just shows how small and desolate and disconnected Scotland is, I guess. And we were talking about Jenny's haunted hand dryers.
So it did freak me out in the end. I thought, I'm getting out of here.
You were so worried you had to
Yes.
go running out the door because the hand dryers kept going off because you thought
Yeah.
it was a ghostie.
I did. I thought something, yeah.
At least they were a ghostie that was washing their hands after going to the toilet. I didn't know ghosts had to go to the toilet. There's something that we learn. PG Vermont Cat saying, I could write a book. Years of working in ICU, very unusual things happen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tell us, I need to know one now.
Or are we going to wait for the book to come out? Because it would ruin the surprise. If you do write that book, do get in touch. We'll have a wee chat about it. She also says hospitals are full of spirits, especially
Yes.
older ones that still have parts of old Victorian buildings. Which describes the hospital you work in quite well. It does
Yes.
have some old Victorian bits to it. Alpha Cat saying, Jenny, think yourself lucky that the toilet didn't flush 3 times. Yeah, and if you're on a toilet that's quite powerful.
It's happened.
And I don't know if you've ever had the problem with they do the infrared sensors where you
Yes.
sit down, you lean forward slightly and it triggers.
It triggers.
It becomes an inadvertent BD. Yeah, you didn't want it.
Motorway service stations, it's happened to me on a couple of times.
Yeah, but me being a taller gentleman means when they go, oh, we'll be a bit smart, we'll move the sensor further up. I still trigger it. So I get a free wash every time I lean forward slightly. And Sandra was saying I worked in an old people's home, previously be an ENT unit, a healthcare assistant on night, swore she saw a child on the top of the corridor.
Wow.
And while you imagine that and realise that you're not going to get to sleep tonight, enjoy a bit more Scottish fun from Primal Scream, who are moving on up. I wish we were moving on up. A Wee Natter is playing Primal Scream, moving on up, something I think we all wish we were doing. Maybe not towards the light. Don't go towards the light. Keep with us at least till the end of the show. And as much as Jenny's toilet poltergeist, I don't know what we're going to call that. You're feeling a bit unlucky with that one, weren't you?
Yes.
Encountering that. Well, you might not be the most unlucky person in the room. I might take that accolade because when we were out and about the other day, we're travelling by bus, and outside a pub, the bus came to a grinding halt.
It did.
Yes. Turns out that was Jenny's very first time she's ever been on a bus and it's broken down.
Yes.
But based on thousands of journeys you've taken over the years?
Yeah.
I have been on countless bus breakdowns. I'm just glad it was in front of a pub this time because
It
you
was
got
a
somewhere
nice
nice and
one.
warm. Lovely little pub.
Yeah.
I'll go back to it at some point, maybe order a meal there.
You've seen the size of the fish and chips, that's why.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain about it. And it turns out I could get the bus there. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I've been on several bus breakdowns. I've been in a bus crash. Thankfully, quite minor, head-on collision with a car, no injuries. Everyone got away safe, although it was kind of galling when we were driving back to the depot because they had to take the bus back to the depot, swap us out and all that because you can't drive around a bus with panels hanging off of it. And the driver was texting the whole way back. I do remember that. And admittedly, this is about 20 years ago here we're talking about, but still not great.
Not great.
I have been, a couple of times I've been to fly. The plane has not got off the ground because of mechanical issues. And it meant I spent 8 hours in Glasgow Airport, 8 hours in East Midlands Airport. I've had trains that just stopped. I've had, basically, if you're on any sort of transport and I happen to be on it with you, the advice is either A, we're not going to get to our destination, or B, we're definitely not getting there on time. I'll tell you that one for free. Are we at the point where we'd have to explain what a payphone is?
Yeah, not really a
Maroon-
bookshop now, isn't it?
Yeah, Maroon 5 and Wiz Khalifa payphone on A Wee Natter, where in just a second we'll be doing Mission Musical Freedom. But before we get there, I've seen a little request coming in for a Scottish band. One of my favourites, it says, The View from Dundee. Could you please play Same Jeans? Well, because you did ask so nicely. It's Same Jeans on A Wee Natter. That's one you don't hear very often. The View and Same Jeans on A Wee Natter. We're slip in one last Scottish request before we get to Mission Musical Freedom. The request was 17 by the Bay City Rollers because it has a better intro than the Beatles. That's quite a claim. And we'll let you hear the intro, but there isn't a song called 17 by the Bay City Rollers. The one that I managed to dig up that does have a connection to 17 is Give a Little Love, which does start with the line, it's a teenage dream to be 17. So I'm assuming
That'd be
that's
the
what
one.
you're going for. Do enjoy the Bay City Rollers. As much as I enjoy and actually don't mind the Bay City Rollers, I'll listen to them. I never quite got to the stage of having a tartan scarf. Have you done that one?
I had the tartan scarf. We used to knot it around your handbag. I think I must have been at school on my satchel or something. And one of the badges that said, "I love the Bay City Rollers."
Oh, you went all in. You were a big roller, right?
Off, yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. Just seen a message coming in saying, snowdrops out in the garden here in Scotland. It's going to be a fun development in the garden with a different climate up here compared to the Midlands. And yes, it's daffodils as well. Spring is on the way. Spring keeps starting earlier and earlier. It's strange like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Humphrey, we're leaving. Ka-ching!
I still haven't figured out why he says ka-ching at the end of that one, have you?
No. Sorry,
The
something just
Super
come in the room.
Sunday Quiz.
A Wee Natter with Jenny and Marc Steele.
What did you just say, Jenny? I cut you off. I got to apologise. I was being rude. Yeah.
Sooty's just come into the room.
If you're not aware, Sooty is our cat. She is internet famous. You can follow her on the internet. Apparently, she posts online all the time. And this is a quiz that is so cerebral it consists of just one question. It's so high budget, the prize consists of... or if you're a bit more like me. And this week we are borrowing our question from the 2010s version of the Trivial Pursuit mini pack. So we're not going that far back in time, he says, realising it's 2026. So we're going at least 6 or 7 years ago now. Try not to think about that. We're going back to the 2010s. And I have to ask, what internet craze of the 2010s involved participants lying down, face down, in unusual locations? You got any ideas on that one?
No, to be honest.
What internet craze of the early 2010s involved participants lying face down in unusual locations? You think you know? Do give us a call, text, or WhatsApp. The number is 07367 85 85 47. That's 07367 85 85 47. And while you're doing that, let's play a wee request for Stephen, keeping the Scottish theme going with the Sutherland Brothers and Quiver with their version of Arms of Mary. Lying in the Arms of Mary.
The Super Shonky Sunday Quiz.
A Wee Natter with Jenny and Marc Steele.
I've just realised that sounds like the quiz is in the arms of Mary. That would be a bit weird. No, Mary does not have the quiz in her arms. We were asking the wonderful fun question from the 2010s about what internet craze involved participants lying face down in unusual locations. Any ideas on that one? Well, a few of you have had a shot, including Alfie saying, remember hearing of it, but not a clue, which means, unfortunately, you get the wrong answer. Sandra Owens with the correct answer, and Daniela Ferry with correct answer as well.
No, we've got nothing.
You've no idea what the internet craze was that involved lying face down in unusual locations. No idea at all? Can't even think.
Yes.
Shall I do it for you during the next song and see if we can work it out from there?
Yeah.
So while I'm doing that, you get in touch with your guesses. The best way to do it is on the phone. Call, text or WhatsApp 07367 85 85 47. That's 07367 85 85 47. The only gotcha is to get your ding-a-ling, you have to get your answer in by the end of this one from Kings of Leon. It's You Somebody on A Wee Natter. Hope you are having a fantastic Sunday evening. And Burns Night as well. If I ever needed a sign that I was getting older, it was demonstrating the craze that our wee quiz question was asking about. To Jenny, I was lying on the floor. That was painful, and then it was surprisingly hard to get back up again.
The Super Shonky Sunday Quiz.
A Wee Natter with Jenny and Marc Steele.
Where we're asking what internet craze of the 2010s involved participants lying face down in unusual locations. And we've had PG Fair One Cat get in touch saying, I've never heard of that craze. Sorry about that, that's not the name of the answer. The quiz. You know what I mean.
But Stephen O was like, well, I can think of two names: bury your head in the sand challenge or eyes down looking.
It is not going down the local bingo house or anything like that. No, that challenge or quiz or whatever you want to call it. What was the word they used here? Craze. It's planking. That's what you had to say if you wanted the sweet. You had to say planking. And now I've said that, you might go, oh yeah, I remember that was a thing.
Stupid. So you're just walking along and then decide to just drop down on the floor?
Well, yeah, people would then just lie there in the middle of shopping centres, in the streets, pretty much anywhere in the public space they would do it. It's crazy at the time. It's a bit like that one where I forget what the dance is called. Where you'd all stand around being still, and then you suddenly burst into a dance when the beat dropped.
Oh,
and that's I've lost my name of it. I'm going to have to think about what that is.
not the dying fly.
It's not the dying fly. Well, I tried to remember vaguely what I'm on about without sounding like too much like a rambling old man. You get to enjoy this one from Perry. It's Tears on a Wee Natter. If I ever needed any evidence that the artificial intelligence robots are coming to take over, it was my ability to ramble into Google "craze where dance when the beat drops," and it reminded me it was the Harlem Shake.
Ah.
Yes, and that was the song that you were doing it to. You were all either doing your normal work or just sitting there still or whatever it was, and then when the beat drops, it turned all weird and strange, and you were dancing along to it. It was a thing for a while.
Oh, God.
I can't remember why it was a thing, but it was a thing for a while. But sort of pre-TikTok, I want to say. It was a good while ago. And talking about a good while ago, Jenny wants to talk about food. We're going back to food. What was going on here?
Food.
Yeah.
So it was really, when the bus broke down and we all ended up going into that pub just for a bit of a drink. And then obviously people were already in there ordering food at lunchtime. And anyway, this table across from me and you, they ordered fish and chips. And the fish and chips, the portions looked massive. And then along came the onion rings that were the size of a house brick. And they put on the table, and I could see these other people sitting on the tables, like looking over, thinking, "Oh, I don't know what to." And then somebody actually came over and started to that table and started admiring somebody's fish and chips, and started talking about the actual portion, the size, the food, what they taste like. And I was sitting there thinking, would you actually go over and start talking to somebody about their meal that had just been placed on the table and they were starting to tuck into because you like the look of it and you like the size of it?
That's an interesting question. I don't think I would personally do that. I mean, like, I've walked into restaurants and pubs and, even fast food outlets where I'll look at someone and go, that looks kind of nice.
Yeah.
I think I want to try that as an option. But I've never actually walked up to someone and go, you know what? That meal you got there, that's a whopper and a half. That's fantastic. You need to tell me what you've ordered there. Yeah. I've never gone to that next level. I don't know if it's just because I'm a bit weird, shy and awkward or something like that.
I know, but they're trying to tuck into it. They got the first couple of mouthfuls and I could see they were like nodding to each other like, yeah, this is that. And then they just come over. Start talking about, is it nice? What does it taste like? You got a good size there. We're looking at the menu. We're not sure what to have. And we started to see what you had. And we thought we'd come over and have a chat about it.
Oh. And talking about having a chat, you remember I was talking about the Harlem Shake craze? Yeah. A few people have Googled it, including PJ Cat saying, never heard of it. Alfie saying, if I Google correctly, seems to be a lot of hip thrusting. Yes, there is a lot of hip thrusting. After the beat drops. Only after the beat drops.
Yeah.
And Sandro is saying, we had a red Citroen go the wrong way around a roundabout in Taunton this afternoon. It hit 3 cars.
Wow.
That's both impressive and worrying at the same time. And there's snow forecast for England this week, but not Somerset, Devon and Cornwall.
What about the East Mids?
Meteorological Office. Let's make inquiries.
Oh, no.
I've got to accept all the terms. I'm literally looking as we speak now. I've got to accept all the terms and conditions where they want, my firstborn child, all that kind of stuff. I put in where we are, in Nottinghamshire. Please wait while it's loading. Today it's going to be misty. Monday, drive, not a lot going on. Tuesday, rain. Wednesday, pretty chill. Thursday, rain. Friday, rain. Saturday is just grey.
So we've not got the snow.
No snow. No snow predicted here, but I feel like I should check the weather warnings now to see what ones are coming up. And apparently there is some weather warnings. So on Monday, it's to do with rain down in the southwest, and on Tuesday, it's rain on the south coast. But you weren't planning on going to Brighton anyway, were you?
No.
Brighton's got a rubbish beach.
It's all pebbles, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not convinced by the beach at Brighton. I'll be honest with you. If you're going to pick a beach, don't get me wrong, Brighton is fantastic for other reasons, but if you're going to pick a beach, Brighton is not the place that I would choose to go to a beach.
No.
And on that note, let's enjoy a bit of heart in these dreams. Hopefully you don't have dreams about going on Brighton Beach. A bit of a strange one, unless you're a massive Quadrophenia fan or something like that. Although that's one of those films, it took me a couple of watches to figure out all of what was going on. It was all a bit, unless you knew all about modern rockers going into it, it's a bit, what on earth is this about? Cracking wee film though, once you get it. This is Heart on a Wee Natter with These Dreams. And talking about dreams, I think we're almost stretching into nightmares talking about this, where we mentioned earlier, Cassandra pointed out that there was an accident with a car going the wrong way round a roundabout. Alfie's been in touch to say that happens regularly on the Bowling Green Island in Lichfield, which is just outside Birmingham, if I remember correctly, to the north. And there are two places in the country where driving in, compared to the rest of the UK, is just completely and utterly wacky races on another planet. You've got to have your wits about you. It's just complete and utter chaos. One of them is Birmingham. It's the only place I've ever been where I saw somebody with, I think it was a pheasant stuffed on the front of their car. They hadn't stopped to even notice it or anything like that, and been close to many accidents there. The other one is central London. I've only driven in central London once in my life, but I didn't do it in a normal car. I did it in a radio car, which, if you've never heard of it before, it's an estate car, usually an ancient one because it was put together in the 80s or 70s or something like that. And it's just got a sodding great big pole or a mast or whatever you want to call it up the middle of it. So you can't see out the back of the car because there's this big mast where the mirror is and things like that. Yeah. You can't really, you've not got great vision. It's an ancient car. It's not very, you'd thought it'd be visible. It's not. And the other one is, when I was driving into the garage, I almost didn't wait long enough for the garage door to open fully, and I forgot I had the mast on it and almost took it off in the process. That would have ended the day brilliantly. And that's how I ended, what was it, one of the royal weddings. It worked well for that many, many, many years ago. And on the weather front, we've got PG Cat saying, I think Cornwall has suffered more than enough rough weather without adding Stowe into the mix. Well, if you choose to be on the coast, that's the trade-off you make. You know, you are going to get storms, you are going to get a bit of the rough stuff, but when you get in the nice summers and things like that, it balances out. So it's a bit like if you choose to live in a city, you get all the amenities, but you get lots of noise, you get lots of neighbours and things like that. Or you can go live in the countryside where you get lots of peace and quiet, but you lose all the amenities. It's like a half-hour trip to shops and things like that. It's a balancing act. You've got to make these decisions in life, haven't you? And also pointing out, my friend got stuck on a hotel balcony in Brighton wearing just a towel at the Grand Hotel.
Oh, the Grand.
Why does the Grand ring a bell? I'm pretty sure
the Grand was the one that got bombed.
Oh, that's why.
Thatcher.
Yeah, okay, that's why I remember the name. Not because I was there and made it happen, by the way. I'm not a member of the IRA. I'll stress that one. Alfie saying, according to the weather for North Ayrshire, we're only getting 7 hours of sun up until Sunday. Well, that's quite high for this time of year. I'll take it as a win. And Sandra saying, my brother and his wife visited his mother-in-law when she just moved to a new bungalow. Went out for a few beers in the evenings, got up, went to loo in the night to find herself on the front doorstep and the door closed behind him. He was less than impressed. His mother-in-law let him in. He was in the nude. That's a tough one. But that's one of these things that, after a bit of time, will become a family story that will get regaled the only time you sort of get the big family together, isn't it? It's funerals and weddings and births and things like that. It will be one of those tales that is told many, many years and through many, many generations. The song isn't from 1973, but it's talking about 1973. James Blunt on A Wee Natter, where we've got a further update to the story about getting caught in the hotel on just a towel. My friend's towel was small and she is, shall we say, well endowed. The seafront was packed. Brighton FC, that's the Seagulls, isn't it?
Brighton FC, the Seagulls Football Club.
That's the only bird noise I've got, so we'll go with that one. Just got promoted, so they were doing the open-top bus thing, and she was barely covered.
Wow.
I had to get hotel staff to come and rescue her. Not easy when the towel only covered the front of her and not just the back. You'd be up against the wall then, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't think we could be doing this with that. And how do you feel your Nottinghamshire knowledge is, Jenny? Do you feel you are an expert in all things Nottinghamshire, or do you feel, actually, I know a bit about it, but I'm not an expert?
I'd like to think I was pretty damn good.
Okay. If I had to ask you what is the NatWest Hole, would you know what I'm on about?
Oh, no, come on. There's no such thing as a NatWest Hole.
Ilkeston, does that help?
Nah, that's Derbyshire borderline. We're not talking Nottingham here, man. We're on the Derbyshire borderline. Come on.
It's the other side of the border. But you know what I'm on about when I talk about the NatWest Hole?
No.
So on the main street through Ilkeston, it's all pedestrianised nowadays. There is a NatWest.
Yeah.
And it's got a little wall in front of the NatWest. It's got a hole in it that you can climb in and out through, take photos, all that sort of stuff. You've never heard of it before?
Never heard of it.
I know what it is, and I'm the imposter that moved here many years later.
Now, I work with somebody that's from Ilkeston. I'm going to be asking this question tomorrow.
Do you know what the NatWest Hole is?
Yeah.
Well, it's a hole in a wall outside NatWest Bank. Kids playing it all the time, climbing through it, all that sort of stuff. It became popular on the internet. It got all sorts of, glowing reviews. It became the highest rated tourist attraction on TripAdvisor.
Sorry. A hole in
just
a hole.
Just a
the
hole in a
highest
wall.
rated attraction
in Ilkeston.
In Ilkeston.
Which is believable. That's the worrying bit here. No, there are some seriously good attractions there as well. But unfortunately, the bank had caught onto this going, hold on a minute, people are playing with us, people are being silly with it. They put a bar in it to stop people from climbing through the hole. That's kicked off on social media. They've had to take the bar away.
Have they?
So it's all kicked off in Ilkeston. And you're looking shocked going, what is this even about?
I'm disappointed. I thought he was going to ask me for some Nottingham questions that I thought I could share my knowledge.
All right, share a Nottingham
You
fact.
can ask me certain things and, do I know what like a cob is? Or
well, what is a cob?
It's a roll, isn't it, that you put either your ham in or your eggs,
That's
it's a cob.
That's one of those arguments. It's a bit like, do you put the cream or the jam on first, right? It's one of those arguments where everyone has their opinion. You are never going to change opinion of what word for bread roll that this person uses. But everyone will fight to the death over it. It's ridiculous.
How many times?
This isn't the BBC, so we don't have to say other newspapers exist. Stranglers are always the sun on A Wee Natter. Although we're talking about bright things, just while we're enjoying that song, Jenny has been sharing pictures off the internet of turkey teeth. And if you're not aware what they are, they're when people go out to Turkey or other places in the Middle East and get their teeth whitened, straightened, all those sort of things.
Yeah.
And their colleagues suffer snow blindness every time you talk to them.
Yeah.
So you've been looking at that on the internet. Other pictures we've been seeing on the internet include one that's been sent by Paul Storer of the NatWest Hole. I showed it to Jenny. She went, no idea. You've literally stood in front of it. No idea.
I've no idea what it is. Paul, are you the one that said she was going to give us a food hack this week? Have we had it yet? Have I missed it?
Oh, well, if we missed it, we'll have to catch it next week because that's about it for A Wee Natter this week. We'll be back same time, same place next week. But there's one last thing we need to do before we go, and that's to give a title to the show so that you can listen on demand later, whether it's on YouTube without the music or Mixcloud with the music, we'll make it available on Spotify and podcast. Turkey teeth is an option.
You want to show them that before we go? Somebody sent me.
There's the picture of turkey teeth Jenny's talking about there. So turkey teeth is one option. Another one is that's what I call a big one.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about big food. Or pure uncut haggis.
Oh dear.
That's quite a range of options. And whichever one ends up winning, you will find out on demand. Like I say, you can catch this show up on Mixcloud, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. Look for A Wee Natter. Although it'll be without music if it's outside of Mixcloud because copyright people and they're still going after people for borrowing music on the internet nowadays. I remember in the old days when you used to use LimeWire and download the music for free.
And all the bugs.
I don't recommend you do that. And my computer may have had to be cleaned up a few times doing it, but I didn't have a lot of money in those days.